Okay, so I'm going to talk about the difference quotient, and we've already discussed this in class. Um, so I just want to go through an example of how to deal with it, how to find it. I'm not explaining what it is in this video. That's the formula for a difference quotient, and it's average rate of change of a function, slope of the secant line, things I've mentioned in class. But that's the formula we're going to use. So an example, f of x equals negative 4x squared plus 5x minus 11. So the first thing I always do on these is find f of x plus h. That's what I always want to find first. And what I do is I'm going to rewrite f of x plus h. Scroll it up here. F of x plus h is equal to negative 4. And instead of putting x, I put a parentheses. Instead of putting x on the 5, I put parentheses. And that's just because these x's are placeholders. Those parentheses are placeholders. So on the next step, I'm going to take x of x, or f of x plus h, the x plus h part, and put into those parentheses, because that's what the function notation is telling me. And when I do that, I don't simplify them here myself. Some people do. I like to do it in the formula, but that's up to you. So when I look at my formula again, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h, and I substitute that all in, right here, this first part, that's f of x plus h, minus, you'll notice where I have the formula written, there's no parenthesis there. This is saying subtract all of f of h. You have to put the parenthesis there. So I put a parenthesis minus the parenthesis, and that is just put in what f of x is. There's f of x. I just put it in right there inside parentheses, all over h. And then I slowly start to simplify this. First thing I'm going to worry about is this x plus h squared, that binomial squared. So I'm going to write it like that so I remember to FOIL it. And on the next step, I have it FOILed out. And I haven't done anything with the rest. You could at this stage or not. And when I get to here, I'm going to multiply each thing by negative 4. This one by 5. Here, I have to remember to distribute that minus through. That's why we put that in parentheses, so I remember to subtract all of them. So that changes signs on a few. And at this stage, I've color-coded things that are going to subtract off. And you'll notice every one of those quantities does not have an h in it. And that's always going to happen here. As soon as I subtract that off, everything I have left here should have an h in it. And it does. Because what we're going to do next is factor out that h and then divide those h's off, and that is your difference quotient. And that's the formula that represents it.